I will be doing a quick tank review for the Soviet Tier 8 artillery piece, the SU-14-2. This artillery piece, it is average for its tier. It is not that bad nor good. But if you play towards its strengths and weaknesses, you can do quite well in this artillery piece. Let's get into the vehicle stats now. Let's begin off with the firepower. The gun that I prefer to use is the 203mm howitzer. What is good about this gun? It is quite accurate for a howitzer for being a Soviet one. You can do a lot of damage to a enemy tank with one round if you hit it, or potentially one-shot it easily enough. Also, it is usable on a lot of Soviet artillery pieces up to tier 9. So this gun, it is quite good and gets slightly better as you go up in the tiers when you have a good crew that is using the artillery piece with the same gun. The aiming time, it is relatively quite good. It can be decreased by a bit when you have a good crew and the necessary pieces of equipment. Unfortunately, the drawback to using this gun is the slow rate of fire. About 1 round fired per a minute. That is slow compared to the other gun. The loading time takes about 44 seconds. Besides that, the gun traverse to the left and to the right, it is terrible. 4 degrees to either way. If you have played artillery pieces that have this type of gun traverse before, then you are used to it. If not, then this is a bit of a issue for you at times. Gun depression downward, it is 0. Gun elevation upward, it is good at 59. So you can use certain type of buildings as cover while you are shooting over them. The survivability of the vehicle itself, it is rubbish. You do not have a lot of hit points and paper-thin armor at this tier, so expect to be killed easily enough with the 410 hit points and the armor it have. Mobility of the vehicle, it is not that great nor bad for a heavy artillery piece. Weighing about 63.5 tons when it is fully upgraded. With the 700 horsepower engine, you have about 11 horsepower to 1 ton. That means you will have a problem at times reaching the top speed of 30 kilometers. You can only reach this speed when you're going downhill only. So if you're going downhill, you can technically ram kill any vehicles that weigh less than you, as you are a heavy artillery piece. Reverse speed, it is not that great. 8. The hull traverse, it is not that great at 15. This is a artillery piece, so 15 degrees will do when it comes to this area of the vehicle hull traverse. This vehicle, when you have the top engine, it will allow you to get from place A to place B quickly enough when it comes to short distances. Concealment, you have rubbish camouflage rating to begin off with. So if you want to improve the vehicle concealment rating, get a camouflage net, camouflage paint, and the camouflage perk for all of the crew members. The vehicle spotting, it is not that great. 310 for the base view range, while you have a good radio for its tier still. 625 meters. This is all assuming you have a fully trained crew in this artillery piece. The important thing that you have to remember when you're playing artillery is, after you have fired, move to a different location each time, even if it's a short distance away, just in case if the enemy artillery is trying to kill you. Now, let's cover the research part of the artillery now. The research for the artillery piece is a easy artillery piece to go through, as you will have most of the research done already. If you went down the S-51 from tier 7 up to tier 8 here, or through the SU-14-1, let's begin off with the tracks. You can use the first pair of tracks still to mount all of the equipment onto the tank here, without going over the vehicle weight limit. But if you want to add more additional equipment on top of it, then you will have to get the second pair of tracks. If you're going to be using the second pair of tracks, your whole traverse will increase by a bit, 14 to 16 engines. If you came from the S-51 just like I did, then you will have to research the second engine here. If you came from the SU-14-1 to the SU-14-2, then you would have the second engine unlocked already. The first engine, it is not that great. 500 horsepower will allow you to get from location A to B still. Watch out for the engine fire for both of these engines still, as they can be set on fire easily enough by a enemy round, or being killed easily enough by a enemy gun that have a high rate of fire. The second engine, you have a better horsepower to ton ratio with the 700 horsepower engine. This engine will allow you to get from location A to B a bit more quicker due to the better horsepower to ton ratio compared to the first engine. Radios, the top radio, the 12RT radio, you would have had this unlocked already, as it is usable on other Soviet vehicles within the tech tree. Now, the guns. You have two to use to suit your preference. The 203mm howitzer here, as I mentioned before, you can do a lot of damage with this gun to a enemy tank, especially if you can one-shot them easily enough. The only drawback to using the howitzer here is the loading time, the rate of fire, and the aiming time. Besides that, this is a good howitzer to use on this artillery piece. But if you want to have a gun that have a slightly better rate of fire, have a better aiming time, but does less damage, then use the 152mm gun. This gun here, the 152mm gun, in theory, if you have a good crew with the proper equipment setup, you can have around 3 rounds per a minute in theory with this gun. Use either of these two guns to get the necessary experience to move on to onto the 212A, which is a good artillery piece as well. Now I will be covering the consumables, the ammunition layout, and the equipment that you are going to be using. This artillery piece, this is artillery, you would be playing it as a artillery piece, but if you have to, you can play it as a close-up TD if you have to, when you're facing one one tank in a one versus one at the end of the match, or if they're up close and personal within a safe range for you to shoot from to hit the enemy vehicle still. Let's cover the consumables now. Let's begin off with the consumables. Consumables, you may or may not want to use them, but the two primary consumables that you will be using is a repair kit and a first aid kit to treat the crew members' injuries and the module damage that you may receive just by enemy artillery blast if it doesn't kill the vehicle in a single shot. The third sort for the consumable, you may go with the combat rations here, just for the increase in the crew by 10%. Remember, combat rations, if you're going to be using them, they are usable in a single match only. Or if you want to have a more of a permanent effect when you are not using it, go with the large repair kit to get the plus 10% towards the module repair speed. This vehicle carries more than enough rounds for you to fire within a match, 16 rounds. Due to the slow rate of fire that the howitzer have, you will never run out of ammo in a match in theory with this gun, unless if you have a 15-minute long match and you manage to fire a single round per a minute. Then you may run out of ammo in limited situations like that only. The primary ammo type I would be using, it is HE. HE, if it hits something, you will be doing damage to it still, no matter what the vehicle type is. You can one-shot a lot of vehicles with this easily enough if you have RNG on your side and if the target have thin enough armor where the shell hits, which in the replay coming up, I will show you. AP, you may want to use this ammo type if you want to. My recommendation is do not use AP. AP, if you are going to be using it, it have good pen value. But remember, AP, if it hit a enemy vehicle and does not go through, it does 0 damage. So HE is the generally all around best ammo type to use as it will be doing some damage still, even if it does not hit a enemy vehicle. The premium HE round TL, it will cost you 8,000 credits or 20 gold to use. It does the same amount of damage as the regular HE, but have a better blast radius from 6 meters, and it increases up to 8.5 meters. It is up to you if you want to use the premium HE round here or not, just for the increased blast radius. Now to the equipment. I would go with a large caliber artillery shell rammer to decrease the loading time by 10%. My rule of thumb, if I'm in a heavy tank or in a tank that have a bad or a good loading time already, I would go with a gun rammer here to decrease the loading time. Vents to improve the crew and the tank performance by a bit. Toolbox to get your repairs done faster by 25%. When you add in the large repair kit permanent effect and add this on top, your repairs will be done faster by 35%. Enhanced gunning drive to decrease the aiming time by 10%. Coated optics and binocular telescope is a waste, as it is more useful on on any other vehicle type in the game. Camouflage net, you may want to use this if you want to have a better camouflage rating when you are trying to hide from a enemy artillery piece or any other enemy vehicle on the map. Now, I have one replay to show you how well you can do in the SU-14-2 if you are playing toward the vehicle's strengths and weaknesses. Let's go to that replay now. This replay, I am using the SU-14-2 Top Gun to show you how well you can do in the vehicle when you're using the top howitzer on the artillery PCO. This is a artillery replay, so I will speed the replay up when need be when I am loading the shell. I am looking for the enemy artillery piece, the SU-14-2 right now, so I can take the vehicle out. This is where, being a good artillery player, you can help your team win the match by taking out the enemy artillery. Especially if you're one artillery piece versus another one. By taking the one artillery piece out, you can effectively make sure your team have the freedom of not worrying about the artillery on the other side. Seeing the SU-14-2 here, I fully aim in onto the RD here to make sure it is dead. With the artillery dead, I fall back. Switching locations when you just fired, when you're playing artillery, is a good idea to make sure that you are not going to be countered or artilleried by the enemy artillery, especially if you're facing against a good artillery player. This Ferdinand, I am aiming in onto the target here. I got a lucky roll there. 2 one-shots so far. The Ferdinand and the SU-14-2. By taking those 2 heavy hitters out of the match, my team has the upper hand so far. I am looking at targets that I can shoot at, the IS-3 there. It got into cover in time, so I could not shoot at it. Looking around, I look for a target that I can shoot at. Seeing some of the vehicles in this part of the map, I look at what I can shoot at effectively to hit. From the location where I am now, I aim at one of these vehicles to hit. The IS-3 there, I took about half of its hit points off right there. This is the wonderful thing about the howitzer on the SU-14-2. If RNG is on your side, you can potentially reduce their hit points by half or just one-shot them. I am looking for a target that I can shoot. Seeing the T-54s here, I am trying to aim my shot. Due to the cover this vehicle I have a limited angle where I can effectively shoot the vehicle at. Let's speed this replay up a bit. Once I am done loading, I do the same song and dance again, trying to aim my shot onto the T-34, finishing the target off. This is where my usefulness to the team comes to an end. We won by finishing the enemy team off. This replay I did quite well for being a top tier artillery piece. For the 3 kills that I got, I did about 3,100 damage. That is good for the gun I am using. Let's go to the garage now to do a brief recap on the SU-14-2. Let's do a brief recap on the SU-14-2. The artillery piece here, it is just average for its tier. It is not that great nor bad. The only thing that is good about the vehicle is the guns on the machine only. If you can make use of either of the 2 guns, you can do quite well in the artillery piece. My recommendation is use the howitzer, as you can potentially one-shot a lot of vehicles with it when you are top tier, or at least reduce the vehicle hit points down to half. If RNG is on your side, if you play towards the vehicle's strengths and weaknesses, you can do quite well in this artillery piece. I hope that you learn a thing or two about the SU-14-2 and how to use it properly. If you like this video, leave a like, a comment, and even follow my channel as well. Good luck on the battlefield, everyone!